About 6 months ago, I was sort of a beginner at TIG welding. I'll just explain a little bit about myself. I used to TIG weld 35 years ago. It was a different world. The sets were very basic. There wasn't the internet, there weren't YouTube videos, anything like that. So what I learned then, I learned from books, from going to the library. It was a different world. I've come back to TIG welding. I'm 74. I'm building custom bikes. I don't just buy bits and screw them on. I want to make bits. And if you're like me, a home hobbyist or a small business, and you want to make stuff, you don't need the most expensive gear. You just want good stuff at a reasonable price. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Look, the first thing is, pretty obviously, is this is probably what you did first. You probably went and looked at TIG welders on eBay and on Amazon. There are a lot out there. They're either cheap or they're expensive. Do you need an expensive one? Probably not. Would I buy a second-hand one? Only if it was in as new condition. If somebody offers you a 25-year-old TIG that's covered in dust and every kind of crap and looks like absolute, shit, walk away. It's not going to be any good. It might be good, but you're taking a chance, aren't you? You're taking a chance. Somebody on Facebook, it worked well last time I saw it. Last time I used it, it was brilliant. I haven't used it for a few years. It's been sat in the shed. I wouldn't go there. So it's either going to be new or good second hand. If you've got a big budget and you don't mind spending a couple of thousand or whatever, this video isn't for you. Right. Now, look on Amazon and look on eBay. Google it, TIG welder. There are AC and DC sets. A DC set is basically welding steel, stainless steel. AC set is for welding aluminium. AC sets are a lot more expensive. If you just want to weld a bit of steel, I think a cheap DC TIG welder might do that for you. DC TIG welding steel is very easy. It's better than MIG in a lot of ways, depending on what you're doing. If you want to weld, for instance, fairly small things like a bolt onto the end of a piece of bar or something like that, with a MIGs are just not that good for getting in those small spaces. So a DC TIG will do your job. If you want to weld aluminium, which most people do, you're going to need an AC TIG. Now AC TIGs start at £300, $350, something like that. A Chinese TIG set, probably going to do your job. Buy it off Amazon. If you don't like it, you've got 30 days to send it back. It can't be bad, can it? Try it. If it don't work, get rid of it. But they do work. And for what you're doing, they're probably going to do your job. A lot of people are happy with them. So you can buy a TIG for £300, and that is going to get you going AC and DC TIG welding. If you want to spend less, for £200, $225, something like that, you can get a DC TIG welder. Later in the series, I might just buy one to try it out, but that DC TIG welder will not weld aluminium. That is the big difference. So, if you're going to buy a new TIG welder, what should you look for? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that one's got more functions than the other. All these functions, they look complicated and they are not. Okay? I don't see people really explaining them in a very basic way that people can understand. Most of the settings you set once and just leave them. if you're not TIG welding every day, that's probably what you're going to do. So buy yourself a cheap TIG. That will get you started. I initially bought a brand new TIG welder off eBay, and I think I paid £450 for it, about $520, $550, with a foot pedal, torch, a mask that was absolutely useless that I threw away. You need an auto darkening mask, by the way, and also get a true colour one, but we'll talk about that later. And I was happy with it. I bought some stuff for the torch, I bought some other stuff, welding rods obviously, bought some welding rods, I got myself an auto darkening mask. I already have one actually because I've got a MIG. Bought an auto darkening mask, but I bought a nicer fitting one for the TIG. I bought gloves. They're all things you're not going to get in the stuff. You're not going to get much of accessories for the torch. We're going to talk about that later. You're probably not going to get a regulator. So the basic thing you're going to need, let's just talk about the actual machine. Buy any one that you think has got good reviews. It's going to work. Ignore videos that say, oh, you must have this, you must have a water-cooled torch. No, forget about all that. This is what I did when I started. I was looking for a cheap machine. I wanted to pay about £500. I wanted to have a foot pedal. I wanted a water-cooled torch. I wanted the regulator. I wanted a heat shield. And you're not going to get that. Just buy for £500 a TIG. Now, I had a bad experience. I got a very nice TIG. I think it was branded Andeli. It was nicely packed, a nice little instruction book. Looked very nicely made. The only thing I could fault it on was the digital display was very fuzzy looking. It looked like it got some sort of film on top of the glass, which I couldn't quite understand, but it wouldn't come off. I couldn't pull it off. It wasn't some sort of film. It was just how it was. And I got all set up, and I spent a few weeks. I bought stuff. I ordered stuff off Amazon. I ordered stuff for the torch. I ordered new plastic covers for the lenses. It's very important that you can see properly. So, you know, if you buy a head shield, buy new plastics, buy some of those at the same time. And just buy the basic machine, and then get yourself a regulator. We'll talk about head shields afterwards. You need a head shield. You're going to need rods. You're going to need certain type of consumables. First thing is, buy the welder. Don't buy a second-hand one unless it's like new. The one I bought stopped working after 1 minute. It went pop. So I've got all set up, all enthusiastic, watched my videos, got my foot on the foot pedal, set it up with basic settings, got a nice little setup on the bench here, and all nervous, my hands were shaking. I pressed the foot pedal and something in the machine just went pop, and that was it, gone. I had to send that one back. Then I was very much undecided what to do next, because I had spent a lot of time thinking about that. And just by chance, I found a machine, which I'm going to show you now, on Facebook Marketplace. So I did actually break one of my own rules. Don't buy a used machine. But I'll tell you why I bought this machine before I show you. I bought a Jasic. Now Jasic have a very good reputation. They're sold at the Chinese, but they are sold around the world, and parts are available for them. And with Jasic, you can somebody will actually come to your home or your workshop and fix it for you if you can afford it. I've no idea how much it costs, but you can get parts for them. A lot of the cheaper machines only have a 1 year warranty. After the 1 year, you can't get parts. So after 13 months, your £500 machine goes done and you're going to throw it away. But I'd still rather do that than pay £500 for a 30-year-old TIG that doesn't work when I get it home. Because my only option then was, I have no guarantee, my only option to get my money back is to sell it to somebody else and tell them the same lies that I was told. And that's not my life, I don't do that. So I bought a Jasic, I saw it, bought it for £450, very cheap. It's in fantastic condition. A guy had bought it a few years ago to weld up a boat, thinking that he would just be able to weld up a boat. Bought an aluminium boat. It needed a new transom on the stern and some holes patching up, and he thought he could do it, and he found out he couldn't. Which, welding outside on an aluminium boat, probably not the best thing you could learn on, really, is it? So I bought the Jasic, I'm happy with it, and I'm going to show you that now. Well, here's my Jasic TIG. As you can see, it does light up. It makes quite a lot of noise. That's the fan. You can see here, these are all the settings. Do you need them all? No. Here are a load more settings. Do you need them all? Some of these you're never going to use. Here's some more settings, some of which you're never going to use. This is the main setting knob. This is for the foot pedal. Now I bought this without a foot pedal, but I'm going to talk about foot pedals in later details. This is a Jasic Professional TIG 200p. I paid £450 for this. I didn't get a foot pedal. I didn't get a regulator. It came with a crap torch, which I'll be honest with you is just useless. I had to buy a trolley. That's a cheap Amazon trolley. That was £35, 40 something dollars. And this is what I've been using. And it works great. There's a setup for my foot pedal, the starting amps for my foot pedal, which is probably a little bit low, to be honest. It should actually be 30, but I've been doing some stuff, and so it's not. At the back, this is a setup you're going to have, which is a gas bottle, which I'll talk to you about in another video. And this is the regulator. So that's it for today. I'm going to talk about all these other things in other videos. Keep it simple. Go out and buy yourself a welder. Come back and look at some more videos. And don't forget to subscribe. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you later.